Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show, what a show we have for you coming up. As you see right here, the match is made official. Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes. They're going to run it back again at Hell in a Cell. Cody issued the challenge to Seth Rollins tonight, and Seth has accepted. The match is official. We'll get to that. Plus, two, AJ Styles, Finn Balor, and Liv Morgan unite. They have a quest of their own, and they're going to unite against the Judgment Day of Edge, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley, the darkest, sinister duo in the world. But Raw kicked off with a bang inside of a 15-foot solid steel cage as Lashley takes on Almas. Who will emerge victorious? Well, we'll find out. And two, there's been some trouble going on right now. We were supposed to have a six-pack women's challenge, but instead, the women's tag team champions, Sasha Banks and Naomi, have opted out. What's going on? We'll talk about the latest on Hot Topics. Well, we'll get to the latest as the Pro Wrestling Show presents the Raw Ring Report, and the Raw Ring Report starts right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show presents the Raw Ring Report. I'm your host, as always, Kendrick Dix here. Glad you can join us in the Pro Wrestling Show. Like I said, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling and hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the Pro Wrestling Show. As we get started, we'll tell you later on Hot Topics on what's going on with the women's tag team champions, Sasha Banks and Naomi, and what's going to happen next. A lot of stuff going on tonight, but we'll get to that later on in the show. All right, we're going to start off with Raw, kicking off the match, kicking off the evening inside of a 15-foot solid steel cage as Almas, the mighty Almas, the giant, take on the almighty Bobby Lashley. Well, this match was high paced. It was just everything you wanted to see in a steel cage match. David versus Goliath. Lashley had the muscles and the strength to go against Almas. Well, Almas made a grave rookie mistake. He threw Lashley over the middle of the cage, giving Lashley the opportunity to climb, walk out of the cage, and Lashley won the match by stepping his foot over the cage. Lashley won this cage match. Lashley got the best of Almas, made Almas look like a fool. Almas know now, don't try to go there. And Almas, it's just stupid for Almas to do such thing inside of a steel cage. You know you're a giant, and you know you ain't using your mind. You threw him out. You thought you was gonna win, and eventually you gave him the win, and he overpowered you by escaping the cage, over the cage door, over the cage. You you broke the cage for him, so Lashley get the win. This rivalry between Lashley and Almas is far from over. I tell you that right now. They gonna have to fight them out somewhere somehow. Also, too, um, WWE Raw Tag Team Champion Riddle was in action against one half of the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Jimmy Uso. But it didn't lead so well as gaining momentum for that Tag Team Championship match this week on SmackDown. Well, Riddle get the win, and Riddle gaining momentum. No Randy Orton in sight. We don't know what Randy Orton was at, but we know this Friday on SmackDown, Randy Orton and Riddle, Red Arcade Brother Raw Tag Team Champions, will team up to take on the Usos for the SmackDown and as SmackDown Tag Team Champions to crown new undisputed tag team champions. We'll see that going forward, hopefully. Also, too, um, Mustafa Ali. Looking forward to getting his challenge. He won the challenge. Riddle, the U.S. champion. He's been trying to gun him for late. Well, Theory had pocket on his sleeve. He sent the Miz as a referee. Yeah, he talked about Mr. Man always told him expect the unexpected. He brought out Veer Mahan, and Veer Mahan was really his opponent. Veer Mahan choked out Ali, and you can tell Ali and Mysterio, Ali and Miz, Theory and Miz getting the last laugh until the Mysterios came out there to try to even the odds and get their hands on Veer. So we're going to see the Mysterios and Veer feud. It's probably a 6-person tag team match, if you ask me. The wife Veer Mahan thought he got rid of the Mysterios. The Mysterios know that he's not where he wants to be, and it'll be sooner rather than later. Veer Mahan might have to face the Mysterio going forward in the match. Speaking of that, AJ Styles, Finn Balor, and Liv Morgan all getting defeated, all getting beat up by the Judgment Day. Well, we know the judgment. Well, we know backstage, AJ and Finn was trying to convince Liv to join them to take down the Judgment Day. It's 3 against 3. Liv was kind of a little bit reluctant at first, but Liv kind of sort of got to her ground and said, you know what, you're kind of making sense. And Liv Morgan, she joined AJ and Finn when they was in a match in Los Lotharios, who recently moved to SmackDown. So Los Lotharios, getting the Duke, I guess, getting defeated. And now we know that Liv and Finn and AJ united for a cause to take down the Judgment Day of Rhea Ripley, Edge, and Damian Priest. Now we know Rhea Ripley, Edge, and Damian Priest been pledging that the fans, they turned against the fans, listen to their attention, and what did they get them? Nowhere. Edge, Rhea Ripley, and Damian Priest vow to not listen to fans and do what they want to do when they want to do it. But Edge made a offer to AJ Styles that you've been doing this and doing that. You need to join the Judgment Day, and the Judgment Day offered Edge a place in the group, and they want to know some way down the road if AJ Styles want to join the group. I'm surprised they didn't want. They said all of them want to join, but I guess not for right now. It's AJ, Finn, and Liv teaming up to take down the Judgment Day sooner rather than later. Can see that. Well, we talked about this Alexa Bliss returning back last week after she looked like what they say, you get that marriage thing in you. You so happy, you so elated. You're Alexa Bliss, a married woman right now. She went against former WWE official Sonya Deville and won her match again. Sonya Deville being frustrated and feel bitter. She took her aggression out on the referee, and she still feel frustrated. I think Sonya Deville realizing that she wants to find ways, but she don't have no power no more. But Alexa Bliss get the win over Sonya Deville. Alexa Bliss looking pretty, looking beautiful as she is as a married woman. Speaking of married people, Becky Lynch, bitter, angry, frustrated. She wants to be the number one contender for the Raw Women's title, that championship that she never got the rematch for. Well, Adam Pearce said she got to go back and do it again. So Becky Lynch convinced Adam Pearce to make it just her and Asuka. Adam Pearce did so, but I don't know if just storyline purposes or what between Sasha Banks and Naomi, what's going on, but we'll talk about that later on Hot Topics on that situation. If WWE knew well in advance what was going on. Speaking of that, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes came out there. Cody came out there to call out Seth Rollins and asked Seth Rollins this question: do he prepare to go to hell? Seth Rollins want to go to hell, and these two men will go into hell. It's time to be Hell in a Cell. The event and being the Hell in a Cell match. Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes in Chicago in Hell in a Cell. Uh, you can tell Seth Rollins looking forward to this match. We'll see. Seth Rollins versus Cody inside Hell in a Cell between them two. Cody and Seth Rollins will do it for a third time. This time, Hell in a Cell. I mean, hey, when you got something like that going for you, why not? When the match is official, you could have saw with Lashley with Almas, what could be, but it was kind of weird. They had a countdown clock for Cody, where they saying he's gonna come in within 2 hours, or I guess he's gonna be the star attraction of that night of him and Seth Rollins inside Hell in a Cell, and it'll happen June 5th in Chicago in the Hell in a Cell event. So looking forward to seeing that Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. Seth Rollins, did Cody ever appear in the Hell in a Cell? Then the last time he appeared in the Hell in a Cell was kind of a decade ago when him and Teddy Rogers went against DX and they lost that match. Seth Rollins just competed in the Hell in a Cell against Edge. Ooh, Seth Rollins and Cody. We'll see this match, how this match going to transpire. But you can tell Cody the emotion, the pent up frustration. He's ready to get his hands on Seth Rollins and do so in the Hell in a Cell match. What will happen? Also, too, also, um, who else did we see? What did we see? We saw Ezekiel defeat Chad Gable. They making Ezekiel like he's the Ultimate Warrior or something, really. But he's supposed to Kevin Owens and American Alpha supposed to have some plan in place going forward and what they're gonna do next week on Raw to Ezekiel. Ezekiel better watch out. He's like the Ultimate Warrior with those tassels. Um, we talked about a lot. We talked about okay. And finally, it was supposed to be a 6-woman, 6-pack challenge for the Raw Women's Championship. It didn't turn out to be that way. Um, it was just Becky Lynch went against Asuka. Becky Lynch and Asuka had their match. Winner was going to meet Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's title at Hell in a Cell. It didn't turn out to be that way for Becky. Becky had this match won, but she kept playing games with Bianca and Asuka. And Asuka got her number with the help of Bianca Belair. Now we know that it'll be Bianca Belair versus Asuka for the Raw Women's title at Hell in a Cell. I think Becky Lynch feeling frustrated now. She can't give a championship match. No way, no how. But I know Becky's a little bit mad. But the real story is what's going on with the women's tag team champions, be Sasha and Naomi. What's going on with that? So that we're gonna end with the the Raw ring report. Now we're gonna quickly move over quickly to the hot topics on hot topics this week. Now that we just found out that the women's tag team champions may have took their ball and went home. Now we don't know if the storyline related or what. We just don't know. This is the message that WWE sent right now, and I'll read as follows. So they said when Sasha Banks and Naomi arrived at the arena this afternoon, they were informed of their participation in the main event of tonight's Monday Night Raw. During the broadcast, they walked into head of town relations John Laurinaitis' offices with a suitcase in hand, placed their tag team championship belts on his desk, and walked out. They claimed they weren't respected enough as tag team champions, even though they had 8 hours to rehearse and construct their match. They claimed they were uncomfortable in the ring with two of their opponents, even though they had matches with those individuals in the past with no consequences. Monday Night Raw is a scripted live TV show whose characters are expected to perform the requirements of their contract. We regret to unable to deliver the match as follows. So we don't know what's going on. As we know right now, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions decided to take their ball and go home. Sasha Banks and Naomi. A lot of people saying Sasha Banks went to Mr. McMahon office frustrated. Mr. McMahon never got budging heads, and Naomi trying to calm down Sasha. There's a lot going on, so we'll get to this story as it follows ongoing. So we'll have more updates on this report, as we can tell you right now. Reportedly, the women's tag team champions walked out of Monday Night Raw, as it showed. We don't know if this is storyline driven or this is real life. It seemed to be real life, but we're getting conflicting stories. But hopefully, we'll get some information shortly. So follow details, follow us on Connect TV, and follow us on YouTube. Follow us tomorrow to see if any updates come forward with that. Also, too, The Rock's Young Rock has been granted a third season, but this time won't be on Tuesday night, which I wish, but they'll be on Friday nights, and they'll be going head to head against SmackDown, which I think is a great mistake by NBC. I don't know why NBC would want to put The Rock show, which is gaining views. It was decreasing a little bit in the ratings, but it was gaining a following on Tuesdays. And decided to move it from Tuesdays to Fridays. I think Fridays night be like a prime time death sentence when you ask me. You moving shows from the original night to a Friday night. Your chances are slim. Ugh. Also, too, Nature Boy Ric Flair announced that he's having his last match. Ric Flair said on Twitter, "The rumors are true. I'm going to walk that aisle, style, and profile one last time, July 31st in Nashville, Tennessee. Jim Crockett Promotions. I will prove once again to be the man, got to be the man. La 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 la. Now we go to school. Now there's been reports that Ric Flair was training with Jay Lethal, but now he's confirming on his Twitter that he's coming back for a match. There's been reports that he might go against his legendary opponent Ricky the Dragon Steamboat of their sensational matches, 3 matches from 1989 that could be pivotal. But a lot of people are trying to prevent Ric Flair from not having a match, including a former WCW announcer, Chris Cruz, saying Ric Flair as a pacemaker, he's an alcoholic and he's in poor health, which he kind of is. But I'm kind of like with Chris Cruz. I believe Ric Flair don't need to have this match because you don't want nothing unfortunate circumstances to happen. But Ric Flair's going to be stubborn, and hopefully his son-in-law Conrad Thompson can talk some sense into the Nature Boy and not do this match. But hey, it is what it is. But it says it's going to be on Fight TV and on Starcast, so we'll see going forward. Also, too, Virgil announced that he has stage 2 cancer and he's fighting. We want to wish our thoughts and prayers to the legendary Virgil on his fight, and I hope he gets well. Also, too, Zachary Green of the Rascals and MSK wrote this apology letter saying that he took responsibility of it. That he gave his wife at the time, someone was trying to get him, trying to hurt him, trying to bribe him. He's trying to sit now in return. His wife trying to get a divorce, trying to use that to her advantage, which she was wrong for that, but it is what it is on that. But kind of hate that, but you know how that go. So yeah, you know how that be. All right, we saw a lot. We saw Miz and Veer Mahan and Theory, the U.S. champion, try to attack Ali. Rey Mysterio's coming back to help save him his aid. We know Lashley won by an inch, and he won by almost making a crucial mistake. Also, too, Ric Flair wants to come back out of retirement and wrestle one last time. Ugh. And Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins will duke it out inside Hell in a Cell in a match that many people never saw coming. And we saw Finn Balor, uh, AJ Styles, and Liv Morgan team up to take on the Judgment Day. That'll happen down the road. Well, we're gonna end it with this. We're gonna end it with Asuka getting the win over Becky Lynch, thus earning herself a women's championship match anytime she see fit. So thank you all for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. Present the Raw Ring Report. I've been your host, Kendrick Dixon. So long. We'll see you tomorrow for the NXT Ring Report. See you later.